Во-первых, народу мама, музыка не очень.
А что за направление?
А?
Что за направление?
Направление? Какое направление?
Что за направление музыки играет там?
Welcome back to our channel, Cardano News. Today we are here with a new video that speaks about, quote, why ADA $20 is inevitable. Charles Hoskinson explains why Cardano will change everything. But before we get started, subscribe to our channel to never miss a crypto update. So without any further delay, let's get started quickly. Many people don't know about Cardano, but I think it's a seriously underestimated cryptocurrency. It has to do very ambitious things. It solves all the problems of the first generation cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. It also supports the second generation cryptocurrency, Ethereum smart contract, even better, and brings us more and more revolutionary concepts. Charles Hoskinson, formerly the co-founder of Ethereum, the principal of Cardano, has a video of a Cardano whiteboard speech, which outlines what Cardano is going to do. I will summarize its lesson to let everyone know about this revolutionary third generation cryptocurrency, Cardano. The origin of Cardano. To understand what Cardano is, we must first understand its origin. Charles believes that the first generation cryptocurrency is Bitcoin. Bitcoin wants to solve the problem that when two people make a transaction, it needs to be verified with a centralized organization. But the problem is that transactions are never as simple as one person transferring money to another. There is often a story behind it. For example, a person may ask another person to do something for him, and then he will pay this person a sum of money, and this is the contract. So the second generation cryptocurrency Ethereum appeared. Ethereum introduces the Turing-complete programming language into the blockchain to implement the contracts we need to make through programming languages, which is what we call smart contracts. But we can notice that blockchains such as Bitcoin and Ethereum are not scalable in the current encryption currency, but also because there are often differences of opinion with the emergence of bifurcation such as Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, and Ethernet or Ethernet Square and Square Classic, Ethereum Classic. Moreover, they still have the issue of sustainability. When the ICO and venture capital funds are used up, who will develop the blockchain? In general, current cryptocurrencies have problems with scalability, interoperability, and sustainability, and Cardano's philosophy and vision are to solve these problems. Of course, Cardano will also learn and inherit the advantages of the existing blockchain and add many new concepts and technologies. For academic research and solutions to these problems, scientists conduct peer reviews through conferences, papers, and university participation for supervision and discussion. Engineers will write highly reliable code based on this. Scalability. Charles believes that scalability is mainly affected by three factors: TPS, network bandwidth, and data volume. And Cardano is hoping to solve these problems elegantly. As more and more people join this network, we will naturally have more and more transactions every second. And we will naturally have more network bandwidth and more extensive data storage space. Of course, at present, Cardano does not have such a large transaction volume as Bitcoin or Ethereum, so the realization of scalability is not very urgent. The Cardano team plans to start to realize it later in 2018. A part of it will be released around the middle of 2018 and completed by the end of 2019. TPS, transaction per second, the number of transactions per second. Cardano's team studied Ouroboros algorithm, a probably secure proof-of-stake POS protocol. It is a high-efficiency consensus algorithm. Encryption is the first real community currency strict security algorithms. The paper of this algorithm is currently the only cryptography conference included documents. It is modular and suited for the future. Compared with Bitcoin and its proof-of-work POW mechanism, the POS mechanism adopted by Ouroboros can provide the same security guarantee and have a meager operating cost. It does not require a lot of computing resources, especially these computing resources that still need to do meaningless calculations. It will randomly distribute the workload according to the number of Cardano coins owned by each Daedalus wallet. In other words, you only need to start your computer with your wallet open and connect to the internet, and then it will mine. This mechanism is planned to start operation in Q2 2018. This algorithm solves the problem of the upper limit of transaction volume. When more and more participants join the blockchain, more and more resources will be available. So when the Ouroboros algorithm is completed, TPS will be infinite. Network bandwidth. Network bandwidth refers to the network resources required by the data carried in transactions during network communication. When the scale of this blockchain becomes larger and larger, the network bandwidth we need will also increase. We can't achieve that every node of the blockchain can support all nodes, all communications. To solve this problem, Cardano uses RINA. RINA, Recursive Internetwork Architecture. I don't know much about this architecture, so I can only talk about it roughly. It should be an architecture similar to TCP/IP. It can naturally make the communication between nodes like inter-process communication (IPC) to naturally carry out large-scale communication. The RINA plan will start to add a part of Cardano in 2018 and complete it in 2019. The amount of data. The unlimited growth of data may be the most challenging problem to solve, but not everybody wants to know all the data. For example, when one person has a transaction with another person, they do not need to know their data. You need to understand that the context of the party who needs to transfer the funds is legal and correct. So we will need some technologies like pruning, subscription, and compression so that each user generally only needs to save the data they must protect. Generally speaking, it is a concept of partitioning, meaning that the user does not actually have the data of all nodes, but saves one chunk of the blockchain. In terms of compression technology, Cardano will also involve sidechain technology. We can connect those tiny data blocks through the sidechain in the form of two-way binding to have a high level of security and correctness. Cardano will learn these concepts strictly to develop a new blockchain that allows users to retain only minimal data while obtaining the same security and correctness guarantees to cope with unlimited growth. Even if we complete the link between the blockchains, we still need to face the reality that we will inevitably communicate with traditional banks. For example, suppose you are a cryptocurrency company. In that case, you issue an ERC20 token, and then the tokens are selling very well, and millions of dollars have entered your company's bank account. The bank itself is a regulated entity, so they will ask you, where did these millions of dollars come from? Then you said you got it by selling ERC20 tokens. They continue to ask, who are your customers? Then you answered that it was someone on the internet. This is not a good answer, and banks will think this is a complicated thing. Since banks are regulated entities, they need to report these suspicious activity records to some finance ministries or agencies. The question about attribution is about identification. That is, how to identify a user. It can be regarded as a kind of metadata, but it is imperative. On the current internet, we often use usernames and passwords for identification. Still, this method is straightforward to be guessed and hacked, and usually the same set of usernames and passwords are used repeatedly in different places. If each of us has a public key, then we can quickly identify everyone on the internet. Encrypted keys are the factories that produce tokens. These tokens can be stored as public keys in the blockchain, and they can be used to store public keys. Cardano uses this method to allow users to save and protect their assets and enable the internet to identify itself. In the financial field, there are three major regulatory regulations: KYC, Know Your Customers, AML, Anti-Money Laundering, and ATF, Anti-Terrorist Financing. In the cryptocurrency world, these regulations are not taken seriously. Still, they are a vital element of the traditional legal financial system, whether they are exchanges, banks, or any financial service companies. Cardano is trying to find a healthy balance between the cryptocurrency world and the traditional legal financial system. On the one hand, it can provide encryption capabilities, and on the other hand, it can also add metadata to each transaction. This allows us to upgrade our trading methods in the cryptocurrency world legally, and this can also solve the problems encountered by the company that sells ERC20 tokens mentioned above. So what Cardano needs to do is to enable the traditional financial system to accept encryption technology slowly. Blockchain and cryptocurrency are not static, and they also need to be constantly iterated and updated. However, where there are iterations and updates, there may be disagreements. When such a situation occurs, it may cause the blockchain to fork, such as Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, or Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. The first and second generation cryptocurrencies have such problems as forks because they do not have a standard to determine which division is more reasonable. When we return to our human society, we will find people have a way to resolve differences most of the time. This is because we all have a constitution, whether China or the United States or other countries. Therefore, to avoid the fork problem as much as possible, Cardano is designing a set of construction-like specifications called the Cardano Improvement Proposal, which will be completed in Q1 2018. It will ensure its execution in a way that machines that can understand is smart contracts. IOHK is vigorously developing it and will be announced in 2018. So that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you hit a like and subscribe to our channel, Cardano News. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section.